Great Plains Technology Center, Automotive Service Technology. I'm going to give you a little walkthrough of our facility here. Describe a few things. This is our student lounge. They have their breaks here, free time. We do have an information board that we use to keep them up to date, anything going on around campus. Various safety posters and inspirational posters around the facility. We do have a tornado shelter. It's a F5 rated tornado shelter. It's been in place about 4 years now. Sure makes us feel good around tornado season to have that on site. I'll work my way over towards the shop. We're going to walk past this AED that we do have on site. We are trained in the use of this equipment. I've never had to use it, and I hope I don't have to. But in the event that it comes into play, we're comfortable with the use. If you'll notice, we do have exit signs and fire extinguisher locations marked throughout the building. We'll run across several more on our walk through the shop. Our custodial staff does a great job keeping this place spick and span. Here's our shop. Has 24 service bays. We can have 24 things going on in a bay at one time. 2 alignment racks, and there's a lift in every other stall. Lacking 1 stall, that's our goal. We got to get one replaced. One thing I want to point out here, we have our safety data sheets here on the rack in the shop. We do train our students in the use of the safety data sheets, their necessity, and how to extract information from them. Also here we have a body wash station and an eye wash station. The eye wash station is inspected weekly, sanitized monthly by our custodial crew. One other thing here, we have an emergency shut-off. This button shuts down all electrical in the shop except for the lighting. Turns off the lifts, electrical outlets. In the case of an emergency, this button shuts everything down. It takes a key to turn it back on. And this is some legacy button from 1964, I think. I have no idea what it did. I want to walk down the center lane. If you'll notice in the shop here, the walking lanes are marked with the white and black stripe. Safety hazards, a trip hazard, marked with a yellow or a yellow and black stripe. As we walk down through the center of the shop, notice these red stripes that go all the way to the ceiling. We teach our students to look for these in the event of an emergency. These stripes that go to the ceiling can be seen throughout the shop, and they denote the location of our fire extinguishing equipment, which is also inspected monthly and serviced yearly by staff. We keep this walk lane free and clear of any obstructions. And just as I say that, I got a bucket sitting on the stripe. Walking down to the end of the shop here, the west end. This is the west exit in our wash bay. We do have a fully functional wash bay to clean up equipment, cars when we're done working on them. The floor is texturized to prevent any type of slip hazard on concrete when it's wet. We do have lockout, tagout provisions in place. Looking over here on the south side, across the walk line, anything that could be a trip hazard is marked with yellow or yellow and black stripes. That lift, marked as a trip hazard. We do have a cabinet that is fireproof for flammable liquids and chemicals. Everything is stored inside of there. We do have waste oil disposal for oil and transmission fluid and greases and also antifreeze disposal. This is fully OSHA compliant and serviced by Safety Clean quarterly. We do have second set tire and wheel service equipment. Once again, trip hazards are marked throughout the shop. Fire extinguishers and evacuation routes posted throughout the shop and the entire facility for that matter. We call this the cage. We keep it locked on a regular basis because our brake lays and our strut compression tool we keep in here because the inherent danger of servicing this equipment. These springs, when they're compressed, hold a lot of energy that, if it's released incorrectly or unexpectedly, can cause harm. So we try and keep this place a little bit more secure than the rest of the shop. So we keep it in the walking lane. I'll work my way back down. The rails that you see overhead have circuit breakers that control all the equipment, lifts, outlets, and such. Once again, those are controlled by that master electrical shutoff switch. Everything with the lighting can be turned off at the press of that button in an emergency. Trip hazards marked in yellow. I'm going to deviate off the path here a little bit. This lift, we're very proud of it the way it was installed about 6 years ago. Very new to the industry, to me anyway. The lift is installed about 8 inches below the surface. One thing that caused is a potential hazard. When the lift was raised, there's a 8-inch pit right there. So it is marked as a trip hazard to prevent accidents. Back down at the east side where we came in, we do have texture on the floor to provide friction when they're washing their hands. Also have a evacuation route posted right above the sink, so I take a look at it every day. Once again, we do have that F5 tornado shelter inside the building, and our evacuation routes are posted here, and we do have fire drills and tornado drills periodically throughout the year. Also have a water fountain to make sure nobody gets thirsty, and a box full of band-aids in case you hurt your little pinky. As you noticed in the video, all exits are marked and lighted, have emergency lighting in place.